Hey there everyone again, this is Martin Tennant and welcome to lesson 3 on accents on guitar. And this series lesson we're going to quickly review some of the content from the last 2 weeks, the last 2 videos, and then we're going to move on to how to incorporate accents with chords. And specifically we're going to focus on power chords. And in the 4th lesson we're going to apply that to major chords, but for this lesson we're just going to focus on power chords, and we'll learn one new type of accent groove that I want to cover as well, just to add a bit more variety. So let's get right to it. So just a very quick note that for all the exercises in this lesson, just like with the previous 2 lessons, we're going to be using the G to begin with. There's a couple of exercises where we'll be doing some other notes in the fretting hand as well, but we're going to be basing all the exercises on G, so just bear that in mind when we're doing these exercises. Alright, you should see that for yourself in the handouts for the exercises in this lesson and for the other lessons, so you can go check that out in the description, where it'll take you to my website where you could view and download these exercises and so on. Okay, so let's start off with the basic exercise using just the accent on the first beat, and then just doing all muted notes after that, first the bar, then repeat. This time though, unlike the last 2 lessons where we did it really slow, we're going to do it a little bit faster, just because you would have practiced that quite a bit by now, I would suspect, and you'll probably want to build up the speed, so you should be able to play it, say. So that's the speed we're going to do that. I'm going to put the metronome on now so that we can play along with it. I've got it set at 80 beats per minute, should be fast enough. And then we'll do it again, but we'll do it a little bit faster. So we count for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good stuff. Let's do your best. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and add 2 accents to that. So we'll have one on the first beat and one on the 3rd beat, so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we're doing it faster again, so all of these are going to be sped up faster than the previous lessons. So if you're not comfortable with that, then just try practicing it slow to begin with, then play along with me. But I expect at this time that you'll be able to play these a bit faster, so that's why I'm doing these faster. So let's try that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time we're going to use alternate picking. And we're going to use the one with 2 accents, but one is going to be on the first beat, and then the other one's going to be on the off beat between beats 2 and 3. Like, so it'll be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I've stopped the metronome just a second because I want to show you one more. This is one that we haven't done before, and this will be a little new, and I'm going to be using more than just one note on the fretting hand. So I'm going to show you this one. This is just so that we can get a bit more interesting. We're going to be, in terms of rhythm and accents, we're going to be using the one that goes. So the triplet rock feel one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1. We're using muting again for the notes between the accents. Now for the left hand for this exercise, we're going to be going from G, which is the 3rd fret on the 6th string. Then we'll be moving to F, 1st fret on the 6th string. Then we'll be moving up to C, which is the 3rd fret on the A string, or the 5th string, I should say. And then there'll be a quick 2-note change from 3rd fret and 1st fret on the A string. So if I was to play the rhythm, it would sound like this. So 2 bars of G, then we'll move over to a bar of F, then a bar of C, then. So again, so 2 bars of G using the rock rhythm, then a bar of F, then a bar on C, and then to end it off, well, the end of that bar will be wee 2-note descending lick back to the G. So again, that would be like this. Okay, so now let's try that riff with the metronome. I've got it set again at 90 beats per minute. Remember, it's the rock feel. We're going to be switching notes, so make sure you're aware of what your left hand is doing as well. Use the handout if you need to as a reference. So let's try this now. Count of 4. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move on to the new angle for this lesson, where we're going to apply these accents and these rhythm grooves that we've learned so far in the series by using power chords, or just chords, instead of just using single notes. We're going to be using chords. And again, we're going to be focusing, for the purpose of this lesson, on a G power chord, based on the 6th string on the 3rd fret, but we'll be using F power chords for some of these exercises as well, but we're going to be focusing for the moment on G. And we're using the 2-finger version as well as the 3-finger version. So first of all, we're going to let's go through the exercises that we've already covered, and as far as accents goes, from the previous 2 lessons, but now we're going to apply each one of those to using the G power chord. Okay, so let's start off with the first exercise. If you should have your handout there. If you haven't downloaded it already, then go and do so. And where you'll find the one that goes with the accent appearing on the first beat, and then the rest of the bar is just all muted notes. So it'll be like this. Okay, now, so when you're doing this, when you're applying accents with power chords or any kind of chords, your technique is going to change just ever so slightly, because instead of just picking one note, you're going to be picking 2 or 3 notes in this case. Instead of doing single notes, we're going to be hitting 2 or 3 notes in this case. So there's going to be more of a partial strum rather than a pick. You see? In the case of power chords, you have to make sure that strings 1, 2 and 3, or if you're doing the 2-finger version 4 as well, that those strings are muted. And I'd recommend using your first finger, as you can, I'll show you it quickly here, using my first finger just to come down on those strings. To do that, if you didn't already know how to do it, that way you can strum all the strings without having to worry about these ones ringing out too much. But when you're using accents, and particularly if you're going to be palm muting the between the accents, then your technique is going to involve longer. You're going to be picking more notes using the accents than you would be if when you're doing the muting. And everyone does it in a slightly different way. There are various different ways that you can emphasize accents and palm mutes when you're doing this kind of thing on the guitar. But one of my favourite ways is to when you're doing the palm mutes or the quieter notes, just play either the root note or the lowest note, or the root note and the second note if you're to the bottom. So the thickest 2 strings if you're doing the 3-finger version of the power chord, or if you're just using the 2-finger one, just do the root note. So it'll be for instance, it'll be muted notes. So you just do that, and then when you do the accent, you strum the whole chord. So if you combine that together, it will be. Or if you're doing the free chord version using 3 notes, what you can do instead would be again just do the root note for the muted notes and then strum the upper 2 strings on the power chord. So you'll get this kind of sound. You see what I mean? Or you can do the whole chord. Or you could even do the thickest 2 strings for the palm muting and then strum the upper chord again when you're doing the accents. So you'll get slightly heavier sound if you do that. It all comes down to personal preference and personal taste. There's no wrong or right way of doing these accents and these palm mutes in between the accents. It comes down to personal technique, preference and style, and everyone does it slightly differently. And it's okay to just do it one way, 2 ways. You could do it all those different ways if you want, but the point is there are so many different techniques that can be applied when you're doing these kind of accents and these exercises and these kind of grooves. So don't worry too much about how you do it, and don't worry too much about it being very precise. So some players I've seen quite often will won't be very precise when they're picking. They might do, say, the root note and then the next note they do the full chord. You don't have to be terribly precise when you do that, so don't worry too much about that. As long as you emphasize the accents and then the notes around it are quieter than the accents, that's the main goal for achieving that kind of sound with the accents involved in the groove. Okay, so now let's apply these power chords with some of the rhythms that we've learned in previous exercises from this series. So let's start off using the one with the accent on the one beat, and then the rest is just all muted. So let's do that without the metronome. In fact, we'll add the metronome later on. So just for now, let's just do it nice and slow, and just do. You could either do the 2-finger power chord or the 3-finger version of the power chord. It's entirely up to you. But I'm playing the G power chord, so just make sure you're playing the G power chord, whatever you play. Okay, so let's try it now. Nice and slow, and make sure that your accents and your mutes have got a nice, good clarity, and you can tell the difference between the two, and you're not blending in with each other too much. Okay, so let's try that now. So on the count of 4, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now let's try that with 2 accents. One on the one on the 1 beat and the other one on the 3rd beat. Here we go. On the count of 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, now let's try that without the palm mutes this time, and this time we're also going to use the 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and remember, no palm mutes this time. So here we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now let's try it with the one with the 3 accents on it, the rock triplet feel. And again, we'll use palm muting for this one, so it'll be... Okay, so again, make sure your G power chord is there, all set to go, and that you remember to palm mute between the accents, and it's that feel. Okay, so nice and slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now let's try all these again with the metronome speed up, so it'll be slightly faster than it was just now. So let's fire off the metronome now at 90 beats per minute and see how we... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, done with all those exercises. I'm sure you've done well. Now let's end off the lesson with one more exercise, and this time we're going to not only be switching between two power chords, but we're going to be learning a brand new groove which we haven't learned before. It's similar to the rock one with the 3 accents in it, but this time we're going to change one of the accents ever so slightly, and it'll sound a little bit different. So let's check this how to play this exercise. So this last groove that we're going to learn, the brand new one, again I'm using the G power chord for this one. So the groove is going to be very similar to the last one that we learned, which is the rock one. But instead of playing the second one on the off beat like we've always done, this time we're going to play it on the on beat instead, and that on beat is going to be the third on beat. So the accents are going to be on beats 1, 3 and 4. So that would sound like this. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Basically, instead of doing this, it's going to be. That second accent is going to be slightly later than you're used to playing it with the offbeat instead of. So slowly that would be accent on the first beat followed by 3 muted notes. So that's the first half. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last half would be basically accent, mute, accent, mute. Okay, so put that together and it will be. Chords that we're going to use for this exercise are going to be G power chord and then followed by F power chord. Now you could either use the 2-finger version or the 3-finger version. I personally like to use the 3-finger version just because it has a richer sound. But you can take your pick, it doesn't matter which one you use. So the order of the chords is going to start on G, then we'll move to the F power chord, and then back to G, back to F, and we'll be repeating that 4 times, a bar on each chord each time. So in other words, for each chord change we're going to be doing the rhythm pattern once, so it'll be and change, then we'll do it another 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so well done so far. We've just got one more wee bit to add to this exercise, and then that's us done for this lesson. We're going to now play that same riff, same exercise, and at the same speed as the second time at 90 beats per minute, but this time we're going to play it along with a backing track that I've made myself, and this will give us more of a sense of playing this along with a band. So just play it one more time and that'll be us done. So here we go. Okay, so that's us done for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and that you've further developed your skills and abilities to play accents on the guitar. Keep practicing all this good stuff and you will see your skills develop even further as far as rhythm playing goes. Next lesson for this series, we're going to continue with our theme on playing accents with chords. Only this time, as well as power chords, we're going to use major bar chords as well, or partial bar chords I should say, and we'll see how that goes. So I hope to see you there. Keep practicing all this good stuff and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.